Giannis watch is in full effect as the NBA trade deadline just 2 days away. Our Shams Charania has listed the Warriors, Heat, Timberwolves, and Knicks as potential destinations for Giannis to land. First Takes resident Knicks fan Stephen A. had previously said the Knicks should do whatever it takes to acquire him. Listen.
You the New York Knicks, you want me to tell you how to spell disaster or label disaster? Let them trade, whether it's any combination of Cat with Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, 2 of the 3, or whatever, and Giannis comes and he can't go. God forbid he tears his Achilles, okay? And the only reason I'm bringing up something like that so negative is because of the calf injuries over the last 19 months. If that wasn't the issue, I wouldn't be saying this. I'd be still screaming, go get Giannis.
Okay, so he's changed his stance a little bit, Perk. Do you agree with SA now?
I agree halfway. And the reason I say halfway is because if I'm the Knicks, I don't try to go get Giannis. I don't give a damn if he was healthy right now. For the simple fact that when you look at their roster, they have everything and more to go get it done to make it to the promised land out of the Eastern Conference. They have the deepest team right now. But it all boils down to Karl Anthony Towns, the most important player on the New York Knicks. But even if Giannis was healthy, I wouldn't make a move because you would have to give up too much of your core. You would either have to give up Towns and OG Anunoby or Towns and Mikal Bridges. I'm not doing that. I would let this ride out, and if Giannis is available and still with the Bucks, then I make the move in the offseason if the Knicks underachieve. And you can fix your body language.
No, I'm not fixing my body language, nor my face, nor anything like that. Because let me tell you something right now. You ever come on this show again and you say you're doing something halfway? I'm going to tell Carmen to give you half the buffet, not the whole. That's what I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her to limit you to half the buffet. You said not the whole buffet, okay? That's my sister, Shay. I'm going to tell him to limit. She can cook. She can throw down. I'm going to tell her, don't give Big Perk the buffet you usually give him. Cut the damn thing in half with his big ass self. Let me tell you something, man. You can't go halfway here. Here's the reality of the situation, bro. When you look at Giannis, if Giannis is healthy, let me tell you something. I love Cat. Mikal Bridges, he's worth $150 million, not 200 plus and all that, but $150 million in today's NBA economy, he's worth that, okay? I'm trying to keep Anunoby. I'm trying to keep Brunson. I'm trying to keep Josh Hart. I got guys like that, along with some of the depth that they have on the bench, whether it's Shamet, it's Clarkson, or anybody else, and I got Giannis, and I'm losing 2 of those players. I'm making that move. I'm making for Giannis, a healthy Giannis. Yes, my trepidation is strictly because I'm very, very scared with the 4 calf injuries in the last 19 months. There's something is going on. And I hope I'm wrong. I'm praying because I don't wish that on anybody, but especially one of the top 5 players on the planet, which is Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I'm scared about that. And you can't be the Knicks and have the personnel that you have. Make that transition and then turn around and he can't go. You can't afford that. But if Giannis was healthy and could go, and I could pair him with most of the Knicks, you damn right I'm doing it. You damn right.
But look, if you're the Knicks, you're in a great situation anyway, and especially SA, if the Bucks are not able to trade Giannis at the deadline. Because if Giannis is with the Bucks past this season, going into the offseason, and the Knicks underachieve, then all of a sudden the Knicks become the front runner to land Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they should go out and try to get him then. Because look, Giannis wants to be a Knick. He want to be a Knick. Like, make no mistake about it. All those other teams are just his secondary option. He wants to be in the Big Apple. He wants to be in the playing under the bright lights. But as of right now, if I'm the New York Knicks, I stand pat. And it's not because of his history of his calf injury. It's because they have the deepest roster in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, but they still inferior to the Detroit Pistons right now, bro. I mean, I'm very, very worried about the Detroit Pistons. Very worried.
Trade deadline is Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and because of the Giannis situation, it does feel a little bit watered down until we figure out where Giannis is going. He's the big fish right now, and everyone's kind of waiting, sitting on their hands until we see where he goes. Will he even be traded by 3?
Into whether there's a disease there or not. We'll have a report on that a little bit later. In the meantime, let's talk about Giannis because that's the big name that everyone is focused on, and this is a story that just it feels like it's sort of tiptoeing towards its conclusion, and it has whatever it is, 60 hours or whatever remains between now and the deadline to do it. What is the very latest on him?
Greeny, we're going to see if the end of this roller coaster is at the deadline on Thursday or this roller coaster is extending into the summer. The Milwaukee Bucks have been sifting through the aggressive trade proposals from the Warriors, the Heat, the Timberwolves, and the Knicks. They made counteroffers as well. They've set a high price point. They want a young blue chip prospect as well as a surplus of draft picks. And so they've gotten combinations of all of those things. There's a young blue chip player, multiple draft picks. They have not yet progressed to the point where clearly they've consummated a deal. They have decisions to make. Do they want to play this out before the deadline? Do they want to take this into the summer? Giannis will have just 1 year left on his deal next offseason. And at that point, he's going to have a lot of leverage to dictate where he wants to go. Do the Bucks do something before that point or not? And there's also a conflict in the second half of the year. Giannis is trying to play for a championship. The Bucks are angling more toward a lottery pick. So a lot of questions that Milwaukee executives and ownership have to answer this week.
I'm looking at these teams. I'm looking at the standings in Perk, Miami, Minnesota, the Knicks, the Warriors. I think a lot of people would be fascinated to see maybe Steph getting a player like that and trying to make one more run. Which of those teams could you see Giannis on making a real run this year, maybe making a run to a title this year?
Well, let me get straight to it, Greeny. First of all, Giannis wants to be in New York. Mm-hmm. He wants to be a Knick, okay? He wanted to be a Knick before the season started. That's why, he quietly behind the scenes told the Bucks in August that he wanted to go to the Big Apple. All the rest of these teams are secondary option, teams that he would be willing to go to, but he wants to be in New York. Let's get that out the way. But if I had to pick one and say to make a move right now, if I'm New York, I wouldn't touch it right now because they have one of the deepest team in the Eastern Conference, and with this roster currently constructed, they should be able to go to the NBA Finals. But if I'm looking, the Timberwolves stands out the most to me because we're talking about Anthony Edwards here. We're talking about a guy that's having a career year, a guy that has been to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. You put Giannis Antetokounmpo alongside him, and it's going to be hell and hot water for the rest of the Western Conference.
Now, the Timberwolves are sitting there 8.5. Everyone in the West obviously is chasing Oklahoma City. The T-Wolves are right in that mix. They're currently sitting at number 5. All right, Perk, outstanding to see you, my man. We'll do it again soon. And Shams, obviously, you will be jam-packed for the next 2 days, and we'll all be following breathlessly as we work our way to the NBA trade.